Be bold and fearless. That's my approach.
Yes.
You've got nothing to lose. Women need to sort of look at themselves and be true to themselves. Where is it that I need to improve, and what support and training do I need, and not be shy about asking. I've made some bold decisions in my life where I've walked away from a situation where I felt I didn't want to proceed. I wake up in the morning, I tell myself nothing is end of the world. It's not a life and death situation. Everything is going to be fine. When we hit a challenge, I always say, we'll find a solution. So I started my journey in marketing, did the traditional marketing roles. But when I joined an organisation, I felt there was a bigger scope, meaning that I moved into product management. Within product management, I took a real interest in about revenue growth and profitability. And I started my journey by making a proposal to the CEO of the company and said, this should be a full-time job in profitability. We can look at item product level and have a look at them, how much money we're really making, truly making profit, and how we can excel from that. So that's where my pricing analytical journey started. And this was 20 years ago, where pricing was not recognised that it is today. Pricing was not something that was highly recognised. It was always part of another function. It was always under strategy, marketing, finance. So the challenge for me really was to make that visible to the organisation and the teams and functions that I was working for, showing the value that pricing discipline can bring in the organisation, and being factual about it as well. And also showing what the numbers look like, the improvements, the savings, the efficiencies, and the profitability. So for me, it was more about being heard, being seen, and having my own voice, and not hiding under a function, and bringing myself forward. So for me, the starting point is, don't be restricted to a job spec. So normally a job spec, it's a framework, it's guidance. What I've done is I've taken that guidance and looked at enhancing that scope. So this is a pricing role, but how can I make it a bit more pricing excellence? So I've grown that. So you can always challenge the job spec and make something bigger for yourself. I've gone back to the organization, the leadership team, and I've extended that specification, and that's how I've grown. In terms of visibility, I've engaged very well with other functions. You need to be aligned with other functions, for example, procurement, finance, strategy, marketing, so that you're all aligned and have the same goal. And I've done that by building relationships, having continuous meetings, and being part of their objectives and engaging with them on a daily basis. So I think that's what's really worked. It's very easy to just sort of sit in the background and do a support role, but I wanted this to be a critical role within the organisation, and I brought it forward. You just need to work your way around every function. I don't think you can say, I only want to talk to this function because they've got something in interest. I think you really need to understand the business strategy model from a global perspective, and then take it down to a regional perspective. And I think don't limit yourself on the number of people you talk. There might be somebody in technical that you may want to be working with and get their support. There might be somebody in innovation that knows more about pricing than you think. So I think it's good to make sure you engage with a large number of audience and work with them on a continuous basis. I've been known as a promoter in the organisation. I like to promote my function. I like to promote my team and the projects wins that we've done and the improvements that we've made. So it's not bragging, it's about adding value and what we've done to change the organisation. And there's nothing wrong with talking about yourself. There's nothing wrong with posting something that you've done, but also then sharing best practice. When I promote, I want to make sure that people know what I've done, because I feel that could also help them. Now, one example I can give you within the organisation is that I love running pricing webinars. This is because I want to be connected to the commercial teams. Equally, I want the global pricing team also to know that this is what is happening regionally, and it's something that they can copy paste as well. And then I have had feedback from them to say, this is a great initiative. It's something that we want to do and should do more of. Now, there's different personalities you can imagine in pricing. Some are very much data driven, some people are more technical, some people are commercially led like myself. I think in pricing, you need to find that right balance, but I think communication is the key. When I'm promoting myself and my team, I'm really trying to celebrate in a way. I want my team to know that I'm proud of them. I want the others to see that my team are doing well. It empowers them, it makes them feel valuable, and it's something that we've worked hard and it's paid off. So for me, it's about look what we've done, look what we've achieved. We're so happy it can be done. And we do talk about the challenges that we went through. The message I'm trying to give is hard work pays off. No matter what obstacles come in the way, there's always a solution. And in the end, I want to feel like that we're celebrating the hard work. In order to make yourself more visible, I think it's about confidence. How do you feel about being more visible in the organization? You would take it for granted. Not everybody has strong communication skills. Not everybody knows how far to promote themselves. I wanted to share something globally. I don't know how it's going to be received, but I knew that this was a good initiative and there has been some really good feedback. This is great work that you're doing in Europe. It's great that you empower the commercial teams and reward them for their work that they've done. And I think it's more about team building as well. When we did that webinar, it really connected us all because people understood what their role was, why their role was so important within the pricing function, what they were adding to the pricing, what the end goal was. To be a good leader, I believe you need to be a good person. My leadership skills has changed over the years. I was a little bit, when I started, quite fearless, quite bold, and because I was a solo worker. Now, when I've started to work in a team, I've started to learn the softer skills, which is to be a bit more empathetic. And that's, for me, is working to understand the individual, what drives them, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, and then applying them and getting the best out of them. And as a leader, I want my team to feel safe in the workplace. I want them to feel valued. There's a lot of diversity and inclusion. I work in a global organization. I want them to feel that there is an open door policy with me, and it's okay to sometimes make mistakes. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to then move forward. So we work as a team. We don't want to define roles too strictly. We all get together on a Monday. We have a team meeting. We look at our priorities and we work together to win these battles that we come across. I've worked in many organizations, but I do feel that this organization that I'm currently working with, it looks out for people. People are the key, and we feel that. We feel valued, we get rewarded on that, and they reward you on good behaviors. So our policy is to work with integrity and trust, and it's a teamwork. So I feel part of the team. I feel valued. They do a lot of initiatives globally. We had the International Women's Day. There was a celebration. We have the diversity inclusion initiatives across the world. We empower women in science. There'll be a lot of initiatives that they do and support. We don't feel any different whether you're a male or a female. They treat everybody equally, and they also give you the framework to grow as well. So if you want to take yourself further, they will support you. If you've got an idea, they will listen, and you do feel that you're making a difference. We have got our VP in Europe, and she's my role model, and I've made it known to her she's my role model, but she's not just my role model, she's a role model to a lot of individuals. She has got a great way of working. She's very much people first, very supportive, always approachable, makes you feel like part of the team, and she's always listening to what you have to say. She shows an interest in the person and what drives them. And the way she conducts herself with trust and integrity, she's very transparent, very open, and that makes us feel that we're part of her team. And she has got a leadership team which are predominantly female, which is great. So we do feel like we've got a very close connection. I like to set the clear goals for my team. I want them to know that where their direction is and what their expectations are on the outcome. If they're clear what's expected from them, they feel safe. The environment that I want to create is an environment they want to be happy, they feel empowered, they feel like they're making a difference, and I want to make sure that they grow within their scope as well. For me, it's more about getting feedback from them and also having a look at their potential, where they could be in the future. And I think good communication and end of year reviews are very critical for me, and mid year reviews, to make sure that everything's on track. So I take those initiatives very seriously, and I do encourage them to push themselves. I always ask them if there's any development, further support that they need, I can help with. They do. I try to build their confidence. I've got a different mix in my team, where some like to speak publicly, some people don't like to speak. So how do we build that confidence? Because I don't want them to be hidden in the background. I want them to come to the surface. When I'm doing meetings or webinars, I will let them pick a part that they are comfortable with. It could be that they are comfortable with doing a demo. They might be comfortable with just doing limited numbers but more training. So I will ask them what they are comfortable with. We then practice and practice until we feel we get that right. So we will film it, we will run through it, and only then, if they feel comfortable, we will proceed with that. But I do feel that they need to be a bit more visible because of the great work that they've done. If they don't feel they want to put themselves forward, then I make sure there's a mention from them, from myself, to say this work was done by a member of my team. So let's all thank them. I don't think it makes any difference whether you're a female or a male in our organization. We all feel equal. We are we recognize people on their merit, their strengths, and their skills. So it doesn't matter what job opening we have. If you're capable of doing the role, you will get selected on that. And we're not gender driven, we're talent driven. Women need to sort of look at themselves and be true to themselves. Where is it that I need to improve, and what support and training do I need, and not be shy about asking. I've been in the leadership team as the only female sometimes, but I've never felt discriminated. You know, I'm a woman of colour. There's an added complexity there, but I've never felt that. I felt that the men have really supported me. I am where I am because some of the leaders have been male, who have pushed me to get to where I am. So I don't feel there's ever been an obstacle for me to push myself. I think in my early days as a teenager, let's say, I probably wasn't as confident as I am today. I was quite a shy student at school. It's very hard to believe, I know. I think I've just progressed over the years. I knew where I wanted to be in life, which was in the business world. I do remember watching TV shows like The Apprentice, and I was really fascinated by that. I loved the way people behaved in the business world. I loved the way that they had talent and where they wanted to get to. So I think that really inspired me. I used to do lots of presentations at university, and it didn't come easy to me. I'm one of those people who likes to practice till I get it right. I want to have people to watch me and say, be a critic, tell me what I'm doing right and wrong. So I do value feedback. And I think it's just something over the years I've just gained that confidence. I'm a positive individual. I'm very organized and very structured. I don't let things get to me. I wake up in the morning, I tell myself nothing is end of the world. It's not a life and death situation. Everything is going to be fine. When we hit a challenge, I always say, we'll find a solution. We'll find something together. We'll get through this, and we keep going. I want to be having fun along the way. I try not to get myself into a negative zone and get myself stressed over it, because that's my job. It's fine to have good days, it's fine to have bad days, and sometimes at the end of the bad day, we reflect on it and we laugh about the challenges that we face. So for me, it's just been having the right mindset, which has always been positive. I've worked in a lot of organizations. Two organizations I have not been happy with. So I've made some bold decisions in my life where I've walked away from a situation where I felt I didn't want to proceed. So I've taken risks, and because I'm confident in myself, there's always something bigger and better out in the outside world. So I think you always need to have a backup plan. If A doesn't work, then where are you going to go next? I think it's always good to have a mindset that you can change. You don't have to stay where you are. I think sometimes people don't like change and they're comfortable in their current situation and they stay, proceed, but they're not truly happy. At the moment, I'm very stable in my position. I'm very happy with the team that I work for, the leadership. I like the way the company is progressing and we are growing super fast. It's a very, very interesting industry that I'm working in. For me, it's about making sure that I'm still growing, and I think I want to strengthen what I've got today before I take the next step. I've said is don't limit yourself to a job spec. Have a look at the job spec and look at what other values you can bring and grow that. So what is it that you want out of the job? What is it that you can add? Where can you add more value in your role? And don't be shy to put yourself forward consistently and keep promoting yourself and growing. I love the business doing well. I love making money. I love saving money. I'm very data driven. I've got an analytical mindset. I like to help others grow their profitability or scope. I just like the support that I give other functions. I think that's what's in it for me. I think I'm more probably numbers driven than words. So I think that's where my passion comes from. I got the job. Oh God, now you've got me. Done? Yes. Why, thank you so much.